Hello everyone, welcome to Homeschool Autism Life. My name is Jamie. Today's video, I wanted to chat about the there's six things, but one's really just a joke, of the 6 things that I love or like about homeschool after 8 years of homeschooling my children. I did 8 years with Darian and I did 6, I think technically 6 because we were doing like the co-teaching during COVID. So I've been doing this for a while and I feel like I can speak to the things that I love about it. What would I recommend? Why would I recommend homeschooling your children if you feel that call on your life? I've said here before that I will never say that this is a choice for everyone. I was pushed off of this particular cliff by God and it's his fault. And so I would never say if you don't homeschool, you're evil or bad or wrong. This is just after this many years of doing it, this is why I am so thankful that God pushed me off of that cliff. So let's get to the first one. I'm looking down because I have notes because I can keep talking and I wanted to keep this kind of short and concise. So the first one is relationship with my kids / teens, because all of them are teenagers now, and this is due to time. The big thing that I recognized when my kids were in school versus what I have now. I am not trying to fit relationship into a kid. I don't know if you can hear that, but my son's video is very loud. Darian, what are you watching? I don't know. Anyway, the time that I have now versus when my kids were in school is vastly different. Vastly different. And I'm not trying to fit relationship into the hour and a bit that I'm rushing around trying to get them out the door to school. I'm not trying to fit it in the 2 hours between the time I pick them up from school to the time that I am trying to make supper and get them ready for bed. The time is vastly different and I love it. There's not a lot of time for myself. There's not a lot of time for me to do things just for me. I'm not working. I am working hard, but I am not working at a different job outside of the home. This is my job and I love it. And there's nothing that I look at and go, oh man, I wish I was doing that instead. The second thing is my ability to tailor make my children's education. So what I mean by that is not I'm going to let them learn by osmosis. It's not, there's so many things it's not, but the big thing that it is if my children are struggling with something, I don't have to move on to the next thing. And that was something that the school system, absolutely, there was a drumbeat. There was a get this done and finished, and then tomorrow is the next lesson and the next lesson. And my children, not my Anara, but Sienna felt that acutely. Darian felt it in the way that he wasn't even doing the things that all the other children were doing. And, whether he recognized it all completely, he felt that and he recognized that. And even when I tried to be like, okay, whatever papers you have that you want him to do, because I was like, with him, he never went to school full time. I just knew that it was too much stress on him. And so I was doing stuff with him at home. And I was like, whatever you guys are doing, send it home and I can do that with Darian. And they were like, I don't know, don't ask me to explain this, but the teachers were like, it's not possible. We can't send this stuff home with you. And so I was coming up with pages that we would do from, what was it, K to 5. Like I would just print off sheets and we would do those ones. Huh? Oh, okay. And so it was one of those things where we definitely, I love the ability to tailor make it. And so, especially because they're all in different grades, there's never a feeling like, oh, I suck because I'm not smart enough to catch this as fast as my other classmates. Like there's none of that. And when they get frustrated by a concept that isn't going straightforward or easy for them, it's okay, because they look at it and they're like, okay, I can talk to them and go, it's okay if this doesn't come super easy to you, because there's still things that I struggle with figuring out, and I'm a grown up, and your daddy's still learning at his job, and it's just a completely different atmosphere that I think kids can thrive in versus not. Number 3, the outside influences are limited. And I know that in the world that is against homeschooling, this is not a positive. For me, I hear stories about the brick and mortar school down the way that the kids would go to. I see it in the dance studio when the girls are in dance, and I hear the conversations between the teeny boppers, and I just look at it and I go, yeah, I'm not sorry that they're having to navigate that world right now. I know that they're going to be able to do that. They're going to have to navigate it. And they do. They navigate it at the dance studio. They navigate it at youth group. They navigate some of it, but they don't have that constant hour after hour after hour bombardment that they don't have to conform to, they don't have to try and deal with. And I'm not sad about it. My kids have never asked for a proper cell phone or a Facebook page of their own or TikTok or any of those things. They also don't call each other names that I'm hearing now, and I'm like, oh my goodness, like, no way, Jose. Just the craziness of the world, even in a private or a semi-private Christian school, is having to deal with. I hear it and I'm like, oh man, shucks, they missed out on that. Like, the pressures to have a boyfriend and stuff like that, like, none of that is happening for my girls, and I'm not sad about it at all. And they're staying their age and they're able to flourish in that. And I said, all of that will come. That stuff will be something that you desire one day or would like one day, but you don't have to be pressured into it right now. And there's been a few conversations where my kids hear about stuff, or they have a conversation with a friend, and they have this no ability to like hide their emotional thoughts in their head, and their friend usually just kind of laughs because they're like, your face. But I was so happy about that, because I was like, yeah, no, this is a positive thing that and it goes into my number 4, is that because we have this environment at home that they are figuring out who they are without all of these influences and pressure and peer pressure and all of that, that their self-esteem is so much stronger than mine ever was. And I'm thrilled by that, because down the road, if they know who they are in Christ, if they know who they are, then the silliness of the world doesn't penetrate that. Or if it does, they're going to go, okay, but is that a worthwhile pursuit? When you're young and it's constantly permeating everywhere, you think that that's normal, that's the way things should be. And I was in my 20s and I still hadn't had a serious boyfriend, and I was like, something's wrong with me, and turned out not. But I had to get through a whole bunch of that stuff before I was able to go, yeah, no, that was just silly and ridiculous. My kids are seeing that now, not only because they're not having those influences, but because we talk about it in our homeschool all the time. I hear something that's happening at the school, I will tell them, and I go, what do you think about that? And they're like, why would that be a thing? And so it's really important to me, and this is the thing that I love about homeschooling, is that it just does that. Number 5, I will never regret the investments that my putting my energy and my artistic ability into my kids during these formative years of their life. So the next, 4 years, 5 years for Sienna. That's right? Something like that. Uh, I will never look at that and go, oh man, I'm going to regret the fact that I spent time and poured out my energy and my abilities on them. Man, I wish I had worked and then they had been in school. Like, there's never going to be a time where I'm like, oh man, why did I do that? It is so fulfilling. And this is what gets me through the hard days, the days where you're like, I am tired, I'm exhausted. We had a spat of a day where the attitudes were off the charts, and all I was doing was trying to get them through their math lesson or whatever the case may be. I can look at that and I go, the thing that gets me through those days is, A, not all the days are like that, but B, it's okay. It's okay, because I'll forget what this day looked like and remember that I poured my life out for my kids. And I know that that's not a popular way of saying it, but it feels like it some days. And I'm never going to look back and go, oh man, I wish I had done something else with that time. There's never going to be a time. So I got this idea from a short that I had watched on my Facebook page, and it was this fella who was making a joke, and I thought I would share it with you because it made me laugh. But he said his number reason was parent-teacher interviews are way more steamy. And I just laughed. I haven't noticed that in my particular experience. When we talk about the kids stuff, it doesn't usually lead to that, but I just thought it was hilarious because, yeah, it's definitely not going to happen in the school system. So I hope this video has been helpful. I hope it is encouraging if you're a homeschool parent going, because there's lots and lots of videos about the hard stuff. There's lots and lots of videos about why it's difficult. And I needed this reminder for myself as I'm preparing for homeschooling high school, which is a completely different animal. And yet I can say with all security that, yeah, I wouldn't change it for the world. So thank you, Lord, for pushing me off of that cliff. I hope this video is good. Talk to you later. Bye.